So now we move into the key components of what this series is all about. You've been given, and I've touched on, information. Now, again, I want your responses, I want your questions, I want your critiques, I want your arguments, I want your rebuttals. That's the whole point of this. Let's get this talking, let's get this moving, let's get this said. And we're going to move into what the point of all this is to. Awareness. How aware are you of everything it is that I'm speaking of? How aware are you of all these topics that are being covered? Did you know about all this? Were you informed? And if not, the question is why? It's right in front of you every day. You live it. You are it. Every day you exist within these systems. Every day you are the key component, the driving force, the cog that makes all of this work. Without you, none of this would be. Without you, none of this would function. Without me, none of this would be also. Don't forget, I include myself in all a part of this. So why are you not aware of all of this? Because to be aware of it would be to understand none of it needs to be. There does not have to be unequal distribution. There does not have to exist an elite class. The politics do not have to go the way they go. The finances do not have to be the way they need to be. The educational system is all corrupt and confused. Ask yourself again, why are you not aware of this? We lead back to all over again. You're taught what to be aware of. You're taught what to know. But at this point, if you're watching this, if you're hearing my voice, then you have already taken one step further to be more aware. You are actually allowing yourself now to be that individual that you weren't allowed to be since you've been born. You are now becoming that person that society and the system doesn't want you to be a part of. And again, do not limit it just to the United States. This is a worldwide global problem. This exists everywhere. This exists all over the world. And awareness is not something you're part of. Awareness is not something you are taught. Ask yourself, when you wake up, how many times a day do you say, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I thinking this? Why am I going through these series of events? Why am I following this pattern? Why are these motions, these mechanisms a part of me? Most of the time you might not. You get up, hopefully you take a shower, brush your teeth, do what you need to do, and then you go about whatever day it is that you do, be it work or school, and you follow that routine. And then once that component of that routine is done, you commence the next component of the routine. And then once that is done, the next component of the routine. And do you ask yourself sincerely and really, why do I do this? What leads me to these decisions? Why am I participating in what it is that I'm doing? And the sincere truth is, for many people, I don't know if it is for you or not, but for many people, the sincere truth is, I don't know. I do not have any clue or idea why I do this. It's just what I do. Because I've been doing it for the past 10 years, 20 years, 60 years. I really have no idea. Well, what else am I going to do? If I don't do that, well, what else am I going to do? And the bottom line, the truth is, you'll be you. You will do what you actually want to do. And it might not be what they want you to be. And it might not be what they want you to do, but it'll be exactly who you want. But you have to be aware in order to understand that. You have to take that responsibility and say, you know what? I am responsible for my decisions and choices. I am responsible for every move and mechanism that takes place. Even though I was conditioned and educated, and even though all these systems are in place to reinforce that, ultimately, I am responsible. And that's what awareness is about. You have to know that. You have to understand why it is you shave or don't shave every day. Why you shower or don't shower. Why you're this or you're that or not or not. That is up to you 100%, but you can't do that if you're not aware. If you are not aware that you are responsible, if you are not aware that you are in control, if you are not aware that everything that you follow and do is because A, you were taught, and B, you follow, then you're already lost. And if you're lost, I promise you, you can't be found again. It is not permanence. You can't be found. You are inside of you. You may not know it, you may not understand that, but you are inside of you. And you may think I sound like a redundant fool at this point, and you may believe what I'm saying makes no sense whatsoever, but you are there. I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to the person in there that's feeling that scratch in the back of their neck, or that itch inside their chest, or that little anxiety, uncomfortableness that's making you wriggle. That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the person who right now is getting uncomfortable. Because everything you've ever thought, everything you continue to live on a daily basis is being questioned. Is that really you? Now, mind you, it is, because you are the one doing it, but is it really you as in consciously? Are you literally asking and processing every thought? Or again, are you just fulfilling the mechanisms going through the motions that you've been indoctrinated and conditioned to? You need to know this. Because if not, the problem will continue to persist. And you will continue to do exactly what these systems want you to do. Blame them. And once you blame them, then they blame somebody else. And once that person gets blamed, they blame somebody else, and so forth and so forth. And then we break out into something to where we don't want to be. To where everything's collapsing and we have no idea why or who's doing it, but we simply try to find that scapegoat. Or we go to war over it. Or we start passing laws and rules to make sure it doesn't happen again, but we still haven't addressed the foundation of the component of the issue. Who was really responsible for that? Right now, I am responsible for speaking to you and saying what I have said, not only in this video, but in the prior series. I take responsibility for that. Whatever occurs because of that, I take full responsibility for it. I am trying to take responsibility for you as an individual, right here, right now, by talking to you and telling you, be aware. Open up your mind, open up your ears, open up your eyes. Hear and see with yourself. That means be objective. That means be real. That means be uncomfortable. As hard as that may be, as much as that may hurt you, as much as that may bother you, you need to be aware. If not, the system continues to roll on as it does. If not, the problems that are continue to persist and be as they continue to be. If not, then there can never be true change. Because just because you go from one car to the other, just because you go from one shirt to the next or one skirt to the next, doesn't really mean change. Because if the same mechanisms are in place that are causing you to do that, then nothing has changed. You need to be conscious of every decision you make. You need to be aware of every process you're a part of. You need to understand what role you play in this entire system. Because again, it only exists because of you. It only is because of you. Without you, this falls apart. And if this falls apart, many people are afraid because then they say, well, who's going to tell us how to live? What's going to run our life? More importantly, people are afraid of losing the material, but they don't understand it. It is that is killing them. It is that prevents it. Because it can be for everyone and not just for the few. But you got to be aware of that is possible. You need to understand and know that the capacity and probability does exist for everyone to have enough. But you need to be aware. And you need to understand your role as I do mine. And you need to be responsible as I am. And understand that, yes, if I buy this shirt, I need to know who made it. If I buy these pants, I need to know where they came from. And that means being aware, which then allows you to be responsible, which then allows the actuality for change.